I watch you at this very moment and see how a strange unease tries to infiltrate your heart. It's not a simple, meaningless jolt. It's something that wants to settle deep in your mind to steal the serenity you value so much. However, you must know that you are not defenseless. I know every corner of your life, and before the storm intensifies, I have already put a plan of protection into motion. I have sent Michael, my mighty archangel, so that with his sword of light he may prevent darkness from taking root in your home. He is not a distant symbol, but a steadfast presence that stops opposing forces, ensuring your inner being is not violated. My gaze reaches far beyond what your eyes can see. I have perceived the hidden intentions of what seeks to strip away your peace. Sometimes you don't understand why certain things that seem stable now waver, but I want you to know that nothing is by chance. You do not fight only against what is visible, but also against what lurks in the shadows. Yet do not fear, for my power surpasses any threat. If your heart remains by my side, it will not be easy soil for evil. Trust that while adversity approaches, I watch and contain it. Think of how storms cannot last if a stronger sun prevails. That light comes from me and is more powerful than any intruder trying to steal your calm. Even if you hear rumors of danger within yourself, my soft voice whispers, I am with you. When circumstances seem out of control, you will find in me the strength to remain firm. The claws of fear cannot cling to a soul that takes refuge under my protection. Michael's presence is not a mere spiritual adornment, but a tangible sign of my intervention. I do not send my angels in vain. They move with precision, untying invisible knots that attempt to paralyze your faith. Where disorder once reigned, they bring harmony. Where fear whispers lies, they proclaim truth. You were not created to dwell in anguish, but to enjoy a peace that only I can offer you. If you truly believe that my hand is already acting to protect you, prove it now with confidence. Right, God cares for me. Remain calm, because my intention is not to frighten you, but to alert you. I know that sometimes your mind plays tricks on you, making you think you are standing before an endless abyss. But faith is not naivety, it is the certainty that, despite difficulties, I remain your refuge. Nothing you face catches me by surprise, and if you trust in me, the most adverse situations will end up working in your favor. Even if doubt wants to enter your mind, do not open the door. I give you strength to resist insecurity and not yield to the panic screaming in your ears. That voice insisting you cannot is merely an echo of the adversary trying to unbalance you. If you keep your eyes on me, you will see that you do not walk in darkness, but under a clear light guiding your every step. Do not fear the shadows lurking around you. They only gain power if you grant them space in your thoughts. When you cling to me, darkness has no substance. Your mind can be a fertile garden if you sow seeds of hope and faith. With my word watering that garden, despite hostile weather, you will blossom in tranquility. Doubt will try to convince you that my promises will not be fulfilled, but I do not lie. When I say I am by your side, I do not say it lightly. What appears uncertain today will tomorrow be a testimony of my faithfulness. Faith is not built on empty illusions, but on the assurance that what is invisible is as real as what you can touch. If you insist on doubting, you will lose the opportunity to experience the power of my protection. If today you understand that faith is an unbreakable shield, express it with conviction. Right, I trust God completely. Notice that there are voices out there that do not come from me, lies designed to weaken your spirit and drag you into discouragement. It is not coincidental that people or situations arise that plant doubt and discomfort. The enemy seeks to entangle you in internal dialogues that bring no peace. However, I can cleanse your heart of that contamination. I can purify your mind so that you recognize what does not benefit you. It is time to filter what you allow into your life. Not everything that sounds convincing comes from truth, and not every pleasant promise is well-intentioned. My light helps you distinguish between what is false and what is authentic. If you put aside harmful influences, your mind clears, your faith grows stronger, and your heart is filled with a serenity you've never known. You were not born to wander amid lies, but to be rooted in the truth I offer you. I have seen how certain voices rise up to slander you, trying to damage your identity and worth. Do not fear these slanders, for I know the integrity of your heart. In due time, everything will be clarified. Where today the enemy sows confusion, tomorrow transparency will shine. Do not consume the seeds of discord. Instead, cultivate within yourself the virtues that lift you above falsehood. Your purification will not be the result of chance, but of a sincere decision, choosing what is good, what builds, what brings life and harmony. I am here to guide you along that path. You need not bear the weight of lies on your shoulders. When your mind is clean and your heart is healthy, you are ready to receive my grace and hear my instructions clearly. If you recognize that I can purify your life, right now, the truth of God guides me. I want to remind you that not all battles are yours. You have wasted energy fighting on terrain that does not belong to you. Some battles I fight myself for you. That is why I invite you to hand over your burdens and let me intervene where your human strength is insufficient. Admitting you need help is not weakness. On the contrary, it is a sign of wisdom. When you stop trying to control everything, you will notice how my hand brings order to the chaos you did not understand. You will discover that victory does not depend solely on your ability, but on my grace working in your favor. Instead of exhausting yourself, learn to release what weighs you down. Thus, your heart will beat more freely, and your mind will find room for serenity. I do not wish to see you immersed in anguish. Trust that I, the creator of the universe, have the power to reposition each piece of the puzzle you do not comprehend today. When you place your worries in my hands, you allow a force beyond human logic to operate. You will feel relief as real as the sun after the storm. If you remain in faith, you will experience a peace that does not easily break. The battles you cannot win on your own, I face with my power. This does not mean you will never know pain, but that you will not bear it alone. I am your refuge, your invincible shield, your loyal ally in every circumstance. If you are willing to hand your worries over to me so I can fight by your side, say it confidently. Right, I give my burdens to God. Understand that difficulties, no matter how harsh, can become stepping stones toward a more solid faith. Every challenge you overcome with my help will be a living testimony of the power working in your life. As you look back on what you have conquered, your conviction is strengthened, preparing you for future challenges without trembling in their presence. Do not allow adversities to rule your mood. They are not permanent and must submit to my authority. I am an expert at turning apparent defeats into unexpected victories. The key is not to give up, not to let exhaustion or despair ruin your perspective. Faith is a muscle that grows stronger with use. When storms appear, remember that they do not last forever. Put your hope in me and you will see that even the fiercest tempest dissipates before a new dawn. What seems insurmountable today will be part of your story of triumph tomorrow. Your victories will bring glory to my name. The burden you feel now is not destined to crush you, but to teach you to rely more on me. Those circumstances suggest everything is lost. I whisper tenderly, there is still hope. Where your human sight finds no exit, my power opens unimaginable paths. If you believe that every difficulty is an opportunity to grow with my help, express it with joy. Right, God turns my trials into victory. It is no coincidence that you have noticed repeating patterns in your life. Similar situations arise to remind you of something important. Without my intervention, you would fall into the same traps time and again. But I do not allow this for no reason. I want you to understand that I am turning each of those experiences into valuable lessons. What once dominated you, you can now overcome with my strength. Where the enemy wanted to deceive you, I give you discernment. Where you once fell easily, now I give you firmness. You need not drag a chain of endless errors. I am here to teach you to recognize the disguised faces that do not seek your good. Over time, your ear will grow more sensitive to my voice and you will know when something does not come from me. Do not blame yourself for the past. I do not come to reproach you, but to guide you toward freedom. The closer you draw to me, the less power the enemy's traps hold. He is surprised to see your spiritual growth and will try to discourage you, but my light will expose the fog that once trapped you. Each obstacle overcome heralds future victories. No matter how tangled the situation seems, I can untangle it. If you remain alert and connected to my word, you will learn to read the signs that protect you from stumbling over the same stones. Your spiritual maturity is advancing, leaving the traps of the past behind. If you understand that I turn your old traps into opportunities for wisdom, show it now. Right, God gives me discernment. The family you have is not a product of chance, it is a gift I placed in your path. Your children, if you have them, are not merely a product of life, but a treasure entrusted to your care. The enemy knows the importance of family and sometimes tries to harm it, aware that the seeds of the future lie there. But do not fear, for I not only protect your life, but also the lives of those you love. When you feel that you do not know how to guide your family, remember you are not alone. Your voice reaches a certain point, but my voice transcends invisible barriers. Praying for your loved ones is not a meaningless gesture, it is a powerful call that shakes the heavens. Every plea you lift places those you love under my constant watch. No attack will have the last word if you invite me into your home. Do not fear the traps that may approach your children. My protection extends over them like a soft yet strong mantle. Even if you do not know which decision to make, I can give you clarity and peace. Uncertainty cannot corner you if you depend on me. Remind them by your example that faith is stronger than any circumstance. When they see your trust, they will learn to seek me as well, understanding that there is no firmer rock than I. What seems a great concern today will tomorrow be a testimony of my faithfulness, safeguarding your family and dismantling plans meant to sow pain. If you believe that I protect your family and future generations, affirm it now. Right, God cares for my family. Reflect on your behavior. Every word, every action, every thought you harbor is a seed you plant in the field of your life. If you sow kindness, you will reap sweet fruit. If you sow resentment, you will taste bitterness. I long for you to be a person with a noble heart, not dragged down by hatred or vengeance. Wisdom is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Learning to treat others with compassion makes you an instrument of peace. When you receive offense, do not respond in kind, instead, offer the coin of love. Do not confuse this with weakness. In compassion and patience lies the greatest strength of the Spirit. I desire to refine your character, to smooth the rough edges left by pain or anger. The wisdom I give you will benefit not only you but those around you. Gradually you will notice how your environment changes when you reflect my light through your actions. Your humility will be a lamp that others can follow in the darkness. Do not give resentment a place. I understand the wounds you carry, but I also know they can be healed if you let me intervene. To love does not mean to justify evil, it means not allowing it to embitter your heart. With my guidance, you will discover the difference between being prudent and being manipulated, between being compassionate and being naive. If you decide to plant acts of love and wisdom, confess it now. Right, God shapes my character with love. Temptations and challenges do not arise to leave you with no way out, but to develop your spiritual resilience. When you face negative impulses, you have the opportunity to show that your soul leans toward what edifies. I am by your side, offering discernment to choose the right path. The purification of your mind and heart does not happen overnight. It is a process that requires consistency. By choosing to reject what contaminates you, you open the door to my peaceful influence. If you notice certain people or environments pushing you toward doubt or despair, do not fear creating distance. Caution is not cowardice, it is wisdom. I am here to free you from burdens that cloud your vision. When you realize that not everything is worthwhile, your life takes on a new color. You are no longer a castaway at the mercy of the waves, but a navigator with a clear heading. My words are your compass, and if you follow them, you will evade the obstacles the adversary places in the sea of life. If something tries to poison your heart, come to me. If a source of anxiety wants to take root in your mind, come to my light. Do not allow voices that whisper discouragement to dominate your inner being. Purification is possible, and with each step you take toward truth, a layer of impurity falls away from your being. If you are willing to keep your heart and mind pure, declare it now. Right, God purifies my innermost being. Be patient, beloved child. Not all answers come when you demand them. Waiting is not a sign of my absence, but a test of your trust. Learning to wait strengthens a faith that does not break at the first difficulty. Understand that time is also my tool. Resilience arises when, despite fatigue, you continue to believe. Do not deny your feelings, but do not let them dominate you. Sometimes the landscape darkens, not to abandon you, but to show you that I can make light shine even in the gloom. Remember, I have assigned angels around you. You are not left to chance. Every difficulty you face is an opportunity to polish facets of your character and draw closer to me. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Even the bitterest experiences can be transformed into sustenance for your spiritual growth, becoming invisible strengths that will support you in the future. If it's hard for you to see the meaning behind so many trials today, trust that my vision goes beyond yours. I am the one who manages time and circumstances with care. At the right moment, everything will make sense, and you will understand that the pieces you did not understand fit into a larger design. Your patience will be rewarded with unshakable faith. If you believe my timing is perfect and that trials forge your faith, write it now. Right, God guides my path with wisdom. Observe yourself when you feel weak. Even at those moments, I never cease to support you. Your strength may seem scarce, but my presence confirms that you do not move forward alone. Every uncertain step you take is accompanied by my watchful care. Do not be ashamed of feeling fear or insecurity. Those emotions do not drive me away. They motivate me to surround you with even more tenderness. Remember that I do not only value your successes. I understand your mistakes, your falls, and your doubts. I am not a severe judge waiting to condemn you, but a compassionate father who, seeing you stumble, extends his hand to lift you up. When you acknowledge that you cannot do it alone, you approach my embrace, and there I renew your courage, reminding you that you are not destined for defeat. With every new dawn, I offer you the chance to start over. The footprints of the past may try to hold you back, but each day I grant you a renewed breath so you can move forward fearlessly. It does not matter how many times you have failed, because persistence and faith overcomes any fall. If you pay attention, you will hear my voice saying, "Move forward, beloved child, I strengthen you." Consistency and faith is the key that opens doors that once seemed closed. When you insist on trusting, even without seeing the exit, you prove that my care is not a distant theory, but a present reality. The barriers that once intimidated you melt away, and you realize that what seemed enormous is not greater than my love. If you feel that even in your weakness I sustain you and help you be reborn each new day, write it now. Write, God always lifts me up. Do not doubt that I can turn your tears into seeds of growth. Each difficult moment waters the soil of your heart, making it more fertile for wisdom and compassion. Although today you may not understand the reason for certain trials, trust that I do not waste any pain. What causes you to weep today will tomorrow yield the sweet fruits of maturity. Your honesty before me is crucial. You need not pretend to be fine when your heart feels burdened. I am a God who values truth. When you open your soul and acknowledge your weaknesses, I enter with my strength. Sincerity creates space for my light to penetrate the darkest corners of your being, illuminating areas that once seemed impenetrable. Growth does not always come without effort. Just as the wind shapes the landscape over time, trials refine your faith, making it more solid and aware of my sovereignty. Superficiality gives way to depth when you choose not to surrender despite the storms. In their midst, you learn to anchor your hope in something more solid than your own resources. I want you to understand, you are not a product of chance, you are a creation of my love. Every detail of you is crafted with care. That is why nothing you face escapes my notice. When exhaustion knocks at your door, remember you don't have to bear the burden alone. I carry it with you, lightening the load that oppresses you. If you understand that, even though trials are hard, I use them to refine your being and strengthen your faith, write it with conviction. Write, God makes me mature with each challenge. Notice how every one of your steps has a purpose you may not fully understand today. When uncertainty reaches you, remember that I am here, watching over your well-being. Although sometimes the scenery seems confusing, my vision is complete, encompassing what your eyes cannot see. As you advance, even the darkest path can be lit by my light if you keep your gaze on me. Allow me to be the compass that directs your decisions. When you doubt, rest in the certainty that my will always aims at your good. Anxiety about what will happen tomorrow must not rob you of today's peace. If you lean on my promises, you will understand that the future is not a threatening unknown, but an opportunity carefully prepared for you. I have seen how you long for immediate results, but I want you to understand that the process of transformation requires time. Just as a seed does not become a flower overnight, your inner being needs its own rhythm. I do not vanish in the waiting. On the contrary, I am more present, patiently nurturing what you are called to become. In consistency and perseverance, you find the strength your faith needs. The conviction that you do not move forward alone will fill you with courage. Although loneliness may try to deceive you, making you believe you are forsaken, my presence is a constant embrace. There is no corner my love cannot reach, no worry my voice cannot calm. When you place your fears in my hands, you free yourself from the weight of trying to control everything. If you believe that, even in the dim future, my guidance directs you and my hand sustains every step you take, express it now in faith. Right, God directs my life with His light. I watch you closely, noting how you move forward even when the picture remains uncertain. Every step you take, even if trembling, shows that your heart does not give up. Remember that your worth is not measured by the absence of difficulties, but by how you face them with my help. I do not expect you to ignore your fears, but to hand them over to me so I can turn them into opportunities for growth. When impatience knocks at your door, speak to it firmly. Tell it that it has no authority over your peace, because your trust is placed in the one who sees everything. Each stage you go through has a purpose, even if you do not fully understand it now. Sometimes, silence is how I prepare your heart to hear deeper truths. Do not compare yourself to others, for your path is unique. Before you I have placed experiences, people, and lessons suited to your personal story. You need not imitate anyone else's pace or feel inferior for not reaching the goal as quickly as others. My gaze does not get distracted by appearances, it contemplates the beauty of your perseverance, born of your faith. Understand that faith is not a naive illusion, it is the certainty that even in emptiness, my hand sustains you. Uncertainty ceases to be an unbearable burden when you accept that I have control. Thus, the weight you once felt on your shoulders lightens, and you realize that it is not necessary to see everything clearly to know the path continues forward. If you understand that every step, no matter how small it may seem, is part of a greater plan I am preparing for your life, express it with conviction. Write, I walk in faith, guided by God. Remember that there is no darkness so dense that my light cannot penetrate it. When you feel that clouds gather over your horizon, close your eyes and listen to my voice within you. I dwell in the depths of your being, and there, in that secret sanctuary, I give you peace. Do not expect thunderous signs, sometimes I speak in the gentle breeze that caresses your soul. The challenges you face today are not a whim of fate, but tools with which I sculpt your character. Gold is purified by fire, and your faith is strengthened in hardship. Instead of fleeing from trials, allow me to guide you through them. I did not promise a thornless path, but I did promise to be with you when your feet get hurt along the way. When uncertainty tightens around your chest, remember that nothing escapes my control. I have plans that go beyond your understanding, yet always aim for your eternal well-being. The human mind grows impatient, seeks shortcuts, but I, with infinite wisdom, chart the path with the precision necessary for your growth. Your perseverance is a melody that delights my heart. Each time you choose hope over doubt, you take another step towards spiritual maturity. Just as an athlete strengthens muscles through constant exercise, your trust grows stronger when you face adversity without giving up. If you acknowledge that faith grows stronger in trials, and that in hardship you find the helping hand of your Creator, say it now. Write, my faith grows with God through every challenge. Do not fear exposing your fragility before me. I know every corner of your soul, every thought you do not dare share with anyone. When you feel weak, come to me. When tears run down your cheeks without words to explain them, remember that I gather them as precious pearls. Your pain is not a waste, but raw material I transform into inner strength. The world often invites you to hide your weaknesses, but I encourage you to be transparent. I do not need you to wear masks in my presence. Sincerity is the key that opens the door to my intervention. By acknowledging your limitations, you make space for my grace to manifest with greater power. Understand that being strong does not mean feeling no pain, but not letting pain defeat you. True strength is born when, despite tears, you continue to believe in my promises. You are human, with emotions and yearnings. Do not fear your vulnerability, because I use it to draw you closer to me. Total surrender to my care is the bravest act you can perform. When you stop fighting with your own strength and yield to my direction, you find that the load becomes lighter. You are not called to walk with the weight of the world on your shoulders. I carry it with you, dispelling the shadows that seek to overwhelm you. If you trust that your fragility is an opportunity to see my strength at work in your life, affirm it now. Write, in my weakness, God is my strength. Observe how, as you put into practice each teaching I leave in your heart, the pieces of your life begin to fit together. It's like scattered notes in a melody coming together to form a harmonious symphony. Nothing you learn is lost. Your wisdom grows when you allow my word to take root within you. Do not fear changes. Life is not a static snapshot, but a canvas in constant motion. I am behind each process of transformation you experience. What feels uncomfortable today may tomorrow be the platform from which you rise with greater certainty. Learn to flow with my will, knowing there is no mistake that cannot be corrected, no wound that cannot be healed. Patience is a gift I teach you to cultivate. We live in a hurried world that seeks immediate gratification. However, inner growth needs time, just as a plant needs sunny days, quiet nights, and rain at the right moment. Do not despair at not seeing immediate results, because my promises are fulfilled at the perfect time. Perseverance not only strengthens your faith, it also molds your character. Every time you overcome an obstacle, your being becomes more resilient. Remember that heaven applauds your small victories. Your effort does not go unnoticed by me. When you think no one values your dedication, lift your gaze and feel my silent yet constant approval. If you can recognize that your wisdom increases when you apply my teachings, and that patience and perseverance are part of this beautiful process, declare it now. Right, I grow in wisdom with God's guidance. There are moments when silence reigns, and you may wonder if I have abandoned you. Do not confuse my silence with absence. Often, the greatest lessons are forged in stillness. In those moments, free of distractions, you hear the echo of my love resonating in your heart. It is there that you understand that, even without thunderous words, my presence is real. Full trust does not require human guarantees. Even if external circumstances seem to contradict hope, your faith must rest on my faithfulness. When the storm rages, remember that I remain the firm anchor. Let the wind blow, let the rain fall, your boat will not sink if you keep me at its center. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is waiting. Do not make hasty decisions out of fear of the unknown. If you remain calm, my light will eventually reveal the next step. I never allow confusion to reign forever. Just as night yields to dawn, doubt recedes before the understanding that comes from me. Do not cling to immediate answers. The knowledge I seek to place in your soul is not limited to logic. Some truths are revealed in due time, when your heart is ready to understand them. Rest assured that I do not hide the truth to hurt you, but that I administer it with love, knowing when the moment is right. If you know that my silence is not indifference, but part of the plan for you to learn to trust deeply, write it now. Write, I trust in God, even in the silence. Each word I speak over your life carries seeds of hope. When you water them with faith, they blossom into blessings that surpass your understanding. The secret is not to abandon the sowing when the land seems barren. There are seasons when the soil shows no life, but that does not mean the seed is dead. With my care, it will sprout in due time. Hope is not a naive refuge, it is a beacon guiding your mind and heart toward a greater destiny. When you choose to believe, even without seeing immediate results, you show that your soul connects to my promises. Hope is a bridge that leads you from desolation to comfort, from worry to serenity. Nourish your hope with my words, with the certainty that I do not leave you adrift. I do not cast promises into the air with no intent to fulfill them. Every promise I place in your heart is a particle of light meant to illuminate dark corners of your existence. The more you cultivate hope, the more able you become to perceive my hand acting in silence. Hope does not make difficulties vanish magically, but it gives you the strength to overcome them. The greater your hope, the clearer the route becomes. Even if the landscape does not change immediately, your heart calms knowing that I always fulfill what I promise. In that tranquility, you find the drive to continue without giving up. If you recognize that hope is the seed I plant in your life and that, by caring for it, you will see blessings bloom, express it with joy. Right, God's hope blossoms in my life. See how your relationship with me deepens as you learn to depend on my guidance. What was once confusing now makes sense, burdens are lighter, and your steps become steadier. Each challenge overcome, each patient wait, each act of faith brings you closer to understanding the magnitude of my love for you. Do not let fatigue deceive you. Sometimes you will feel the journey is long, that the goal seems distant. But I say this, every effort you make, every time you renew your faith despite weariness, is a declaration that you do not walk alone. I am here, encouraging you, holding you up, reminding you that your perseverance is not in vain. As you grow spiritually, your perspective changes. You no longer see obstacles as insurmountable enemies, but as steps toward a higher level of understanding. Where there were once complaints, now there is gratitude. Where fear once reigned, now emerges certainty of my unwavering care.